Imagine a brilliant scholar, perched at the height of fame, applauded by kings and courtiers, yet one night a shadow falls across his mind. And he wonders, have I learned everything I needed, or have I missed the only thing that matters? In the city of Nishapur, a man named Razan ibn Taymur stands on the brink of everything and on the edge of nothing. What he discovers in the darkness will change him and the world around him forever. Stay with us as we walk this path together. In the year 1058, in the dusty town of Tebran, near Khorasan, a child was born into humble means. We'll call him Razan ibn Taymur. His father was a simple cotton merchant, his mother tender and devout, but Razan showed early promise. By age 12, he had mastered Quranic recitation, law, philosophy, and logic. He traveled to the great center of knowledge, the city of Nishapur, to study under the famed teacher Al-Juwayn. Razan excelled. His name was spoken in scholarly circles, and soon he was invited to serve in the grand halls of the Seljuk court-coaching princes, debating philosophers and earning thunderous applause, wore robes of respect, held prestigious titles, and commanded attention wherever he went. But at night, in the privacy of his cell, a quiet voice would ask, "Is this all? Is this knowledge enough?" One evening, Razan stood atop the minaret of the madrasa in Nishapur, looking over the city's lights. Below, scholars were closing their books, and the muezzin's call to prayer drifted across the rooftops. The wind whispered as if in warning, "You know so much, but do you know yourself? Do you know God?" A chill ran down his spine. For all his knowledge, law, logic, philosophy, theology, an unsettling emptiness stretched wide inside him. He could debate the greatest philosophers and refute entire sects, yet his own heart had grown restless. He began to question everything. If tradition carries knowledge, why does this anxiety persist? If these methods deliver truth, why does my soul still thirst for more? A shadow fell over his reputation, one he couldn't cast off. It was the creeping, silent sense that all the trophies of his scholarship were just toys in the face of real knowing. Then, at the absolute height of his career, Razan did something astonishing. He left his post. He abandoned the court. He withdrew from his lectures. He donned simple clothes, left his city, and entered the desert of his own self. For 2 years he wandered through Damascus, Jerusalem, and Mecca, hearing the wind, tasting the dust, and meeting mystics and dervishes. In the hush of a desert night beneath the stars of Palestine, he wept for his own ignorance. In the solitude of the mountains, he finally realized that knowledge of the tongue is small, but knowledge of the heart is immeasurable. Here, the suspense deepens. Scholars sought him out. Kings summoned him, but he would not return. Why? Because he had found a deeper teacher, the silence within. In a humble cell back in his hometown of Tus, Razan uncovered what no book had ever taught him. He realized that faith without an inner turning is hollow. And that knowing asterisk about asterisk God is far easier than truly asterisk knowing asterisk God. He wrote that the soul only becomes alive when it sheds the weight of worldly honor and enters the world of longing. From this profound experience, Razan's great work emerged, a 4-part guide to ritual, manners, perdition, and salvation. He taught that knowledge must lead to purification, action, and union. Live the paradox. The greatest master sits in silence. The smallest act done with sincerity can move mountains. Slowly, his fame returned, not as a flashy scholar, but as a quiet guide. Students came not for credentials, but for transformation. Mystics spoke of his nights of vigil, his tears at dawn, and his unquenchable hunger for truth. So what can we learn from Razan ibn Taymur? That knowledge without humility can become the heaviest burden, that leaving the familiar often means entering the unknown, but that is where true light waits, and that the shadow of self-delusion, thinking we know when we don't, is often the greatest darkness. The path from the scholar's chair to the mystic's cell is the path of the heart's awakening. This message echoes through the centuries. Seek the witness within you. When the heart is hollow, even the highest buildings collapse. And for you and me, when we stress over worldly honor, we risk being blind to the subtle whisper of meaning hiding in the margins of our days. In the city of Nishapur, the shadow that fell over the scholar, became a doorway to the light. That's the paradox. Sometimes the greatest descent leads to the greatest rise. Razan ibn Taymur returned to his hometown, taught quietly, lived simply, and passed away in 1111 CE, yet his legacy lives on, reminding us that knowledge is valuable, but knowing is indispensable. Thank you for joining this story. If you found value in it, please like, share, and comment below. What shadow are you willing to face to walk into your own light? Until next time, peace and blessings.